What is up, people? It is me, Monster58. Welcome back to another episode of Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon. In the previous part, we made the fateful decision to betray Air and destroy the coral to eliminate it from Rubicon completely so that there's nothing left to fight over. That means we ended up siding with Carla, with Chatty, with Handler Walter and their organization, taking up the burdens of their organization Overseer to eventually destroy the coral before it can spread into space and consume absolutely everything. And thus, we ended up retaking control of the Xylem by taking it from Arquebus and defeating V1 Freud. But as soon as we took control of the Xylem, unfortunately, there was a giant shot that radiated across from space, hitting the Xylem, and we realized that there were some massive satellite cannons controlled by a mysterious somebody you can more than likely guess who. Now, a couple of things before we get into this. I'd like to say that this episode isn't going to be long because it's really just going to cover the finale mission of this. Now, when I say not long, it's definitely more than likely going to be shorter than the previous episodes just due to the fact that it's one mission. But it also might be relatively same within the length just due to the fact that I don't know how many tries this fight's going to take. This fight, I'll tell you, this final boss that we're going to be fighting, out of the two endings you have options to go through with the paths that you can take in this game for your first playthrough, in my opinion, this is the harder of the two bosses. This boss, there's a lot of wide sweeping attacks, there's a lot of projectiles, there's a shield, everything like that. You just have to getting through the first half, in my opinion, always gives me the most trouble of this, because in phase 2 is where it gets really tough, where it gets easier. And thus, I would recommend trying to just do your best to get through that first phase, because the second phase, even though there are more attacks and they can hurt a lot, I do find it a little bit easier than the first one because you don't have to go through a shield. The other thing, too, is I went through all of the missions that we had done so far, and I went and grabbed all the combat logs, so we did unlock a few new parts and stuff like that. We unlocked like a coral generator, some boosters, some arms and stuff like that, but nothing super significant, but highly recommend you go through and do the same as I did before you jump into this, just so that you can go through and get as many of the battle logs and combat logs as possible for extra parts and stuff like that. As you can see, we do have a new AC, and I'd like to show it off right now. So when we go to the AC design, I actually made a couple new ACs, but this is the one. We ended up making a double shotgun one with the lance, as well as it's not the songbirds, but it's the sort of the shoulder weapon that's a spread very similar to what the songbirds want to do. Got some reverse joint legs. It's medium weight, but this thing's been absolutely rolling through people lately. I also made a lightning based one where it's mainly electricity. You got the drones, got the electric like little projectiles on the upper right shoulder, the drones on the left shoulder. We got the dagger on the left arm, and then we have the electric dual wield shotgun, and then we have one where we have two of these massive machine guns, massive bazookas on here with two kinetic weapons. This has actually been doing a lot of work. I've been having a lot of fun with this build, but we're gonna take this build more than likely into the final fight. If not, we're probably end up taking the stun needle if this doesn't end up working, but I think this should be fine. So without further ado, folks, let's head out and shut down the closure satellites for our finale.
Raven, I was the one who fired the satellite cannons. I know that you've made your choice. Then I must do my duty as a Rubiconian.
Alrighty, folks, and as you can see, that Air was the one who fired the satellite cannons. Not a big shocker. Obviously, it's more than likely, the story's very linear in that sense. But yeah, it is time to fight the friend that we made on Rubicon and get rid of the coral for good. Without further ado, folks, let's hop in and fight Air.
I'm waiting at the closure station. Come to me, Raven.
This ship's pretty roughed up. autopilot's out. We'll have to do it the old-fashioned way. I'll leave the satellites to you, tourist. You know, for a tourist, you've got a sense of humor. Good luck out there.
Raven. I know you can still see it. The voices of the coral. And yet you turned your back on our shared potential. You want to silence us forever.
Alrighty, folks, take all those tips I gave you earlier. Let's get into it.
I will stop you. Manage the silo. Carry our shared resolve on the wings of this mission. Symbiosis is shared life. I saw the potential for our future. You and I, we walked together.
Okay, so as you can see, there's a lot of wide sweeping attacks.
You're strong. Dangerous. Nothing back.
Like I was saying, you can see there's a lot of wide sweeping attacks that she has. And honestly, for her, like, when she transforms into a ship, out. God, it's getting really annoying, actually. Okay, I have to heal. I have to heal. That was close. Okay. Yeah, that does a lot of damage, and I'm actually screwing up really hard already. Yeah, this is not good going into this phase, but God, it's her moving around so fast. I knew this day would come. Man. Come on. I was playing this super well, too. I'm pissed at myself right now.
I realize what you are. A spark of war. Fires that haunt Rubicon.
Now she won't have her shield anymore, so you can have that solace. Okay, hit her. Where is she?
I'll end this, Raven.
At 50%.
Brothers and sisters. Humanity wants to burn it all. Everything on Rubicon. I won't let you. Your fire must die.
Alrighty, what I'll do is I'll cut back to the second phase. Whenever I beat this, well, I'll cut to my deaths if I die in the first phase, but what we'll do is we'll cut to the second phase and then we'll fight through the second phase again. Since you've seen the first phase, and what I also will say is when we get the good fight, I'll show the entire fight. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, so excuse me, I'm like screwing up right now, but yes, when we get the good fight, I'll show the entire fight and then any of my deaths after that. So let's see what happens. Yeah. No way, man.
Main system activating combat mode.
I will stop you. Manage the silo. Carry the shared resolve in wings. This is a shared life. I saw those and you and I could have walked together. Dangerous. I hold nothing back. I realize what you are.
There were no winners at the close of the Coral War. When the storm of fire finally faded, only the ashes of civilization remained. Ruined and haunted, the corporations made a joint announcement with the Planetary Closure Administration. Rubicon was to be abandoned, left a dead planet forever. Meanwhile, the monster who burned the stars vanished into the flames, never to be heard from again. Yet history would forever remember the fires of Raven.
And so, folks, ends our first playthrough of Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon. Like I said, we'll be going through the next two playthroughs, but I will be skipping any of the missions that were duplicates of the previous, which are going to be a lot of them. But I will cut to the ends of them and maybe cut in a little bit of footage in between and stuff like that. And I will obviously cut to the missions that will end up having, like, like new split pads, new optional missions and stuff like that. We will be doing all of that in this next playthrough and in the third one, so just so you guys understand how it is. But for this ending, this is arguably the worst ending of all of them. This is the one where essentially you destroy all the coral, even though there's nothing left to fight over, there's no world left to fight for in the first place. And so, although I was kind of like trying to make up some BS reasons on why we were actually destroying the coral at the end of the day, sure, from a certain perspective I can see the idea of destroying all this coral will end up helping make this world just not worth fighting over anymore, that there's no more bloodshed and stuff like that, but there's no world left to fight for in the first place, so why would we destroy the coral? And so, in our next playthrough, you can obviously tell the path that we're going to go down is we're going to be siding with the coral and seeing where that takes us, but we're obviously going to go through and select some missions that we didn't select in the first playthrough, and doing some side stuff that we didn't end up doing in the first playthrough. Now, largely, most of the missions will be very much the same. And at the end of the day, although this is the case, the missions that do have separate pads, like I said, I'll show them. And although that this playthrough will certainly be much shorter in terms of video length, I hope you guys will still find it entertaining. And I will cut in some nice moments, right? Like, I might not, like, cut all of the missions all together, but I'll just show, like, some fun moments and stuff like that. Maybe me destroying, like, a boss or something like that, since I'm used to fighting a lot of these bosses anyway. But yeah, Air, as you can tell, I don't find the fight super easy. Now, there's, obviously people who play this game way more than I have and who are better mechanically than me or more talented than me that can do that fight with their eyes closed. But still, I just find it annoying. The shadow melee things that she has are really annoying. But we were very lucky. I had my terminal armor, and she was able to break that, and it gave me a chance to stagger her and then finish her off with the laser lance shotgun shot. So that felt really good. Sure, it took a while. I've been here for like 40 minutes trying to finish this, and I shouldn't be taking that many attempts in that long, but recording, you don't play as well, and so it does suck. But at the end of the day, guys, I hope you enjoyed this first playthrough. Now, I will be showing sort of the beginning of next episode because, to extend the length of this episode a bit more, but we will not be starting the next playthrough until next episode. And so, let's see if we can skip through these credits here, because I don't want to show all these credits until we get to the end of the game, so.
Unlock condition verified. Playing back message. Sender, Handler Walter.
Looks like you got the job done. You chose to carry our burden and right the wrongs of the past. I'm sorry. And I'm grateful. 621. There's nothing left to bind you. find your true potential.
Registration number RB23. Call sign Raven. Authentication complete. Removing MIA status. Restoring access privileges. This is Allmind, the mercenary support system. Raven, you've returned. Welcome back. Allmind anticipates great things from you.
Looks like you passed the authentication. That was quite the welcome home. Well, whatever. Raven, that's who you are now. You're on Rubicon. I've picked up some work for you already. Take a look, 621.
Alright, so as you can see, we do remain, we have our arena rank is still S-class. We still have all of our credits. We still have all of our like upgrades and stuff like that. We still have all of our AC data, and if you go to Sortie and you go to replay mission, we still have access to all the missions we've already done before. But as you can see, it's sort of, we've been placed back in time, right at the beginning of our adventure, right after the very first mission where we have to beat the helicopter, the transport helicopter. And so, folks, next time on Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon, we will be starting our second playthrough of this game for New Game Plus. So I hope you guys look forward to that, and I hope you guys enjoyed. So, thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, comment, rate, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends, and also follow me in the socials. Those will be linked in the description below. And with that, guys, once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this episode, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.
High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives. You create.